Hey you guys, welcome back. Jennifer with Construction Landscape here. We are in my front yard yet again and we're quite a mess. So normally my videos you get to see everything pristine and fully done and complete and gorgeous. I thought I'd bring you along a little early so you can kind of see the mess that we're in. So we are redoing my koi pond. So you may have seen in the previous video, I had a nice small little koi pond right by my front door. It was ideal. It housed a few fish, but I was really at the time dipping my toe into the pond world. It was my very first one, and as you guys know, I literally my yard is a laboratory for my first times of everything. So it was my first koi pond and I loved it. There was a couple things that I didn't know when we did it, a couple mistakes that we made. So I kind of wanted to rectify that and kind of create something nice and big for the future fish that we're gonna have. So my first koi pond was a bit shallow for the amount of fish that we were hoping to have. We have a lot of bird traffic here, so I was really concerned about the safety of the fish. We lost a few of them to some egrets, and it was kind of sad. So and at the time I really wanted to stay small because honestly I don't have a lot of time. I stay pretty busy with everything else, so I definitely wanted something that was going to be very low maintenance, and in my mind small is better. And I realized we're using Aquascapes products and they're just so efficient. So they're so fantastic to work with, and I had no trouble, had little amount of maintenance. So I thought, hey, let's go bigger, let's go deeper. We've got the space to work with, not a lot, but we've got enough space to make it, to give us some more fish to work with. So we are at the point now where we are removing and reinstalling and going bigger. And I brought in a heavy hitter to help me with that. So since I am still somewhat of a hobbyist for ponds, I brought in my friend Erin Chico, who is so totally going to help us, kind of create, just a magical space in our front. I'll be sure to post some job pictures of some of his previous work. It's just absolutely stunning, and he's really helping us create that perfect environment that we're really hoping to achieve here. But I'll introduce him later, and that way you guys will get a chance to meet him. But he is there working with our crew. And you can kind of see the space that we're working with. So this is an interior of our walkway. So it comes right off of our driveway, and then we have a long walkway that comes right off of this corner, and you'll get to see that in a moment. So here we are, you guys. This is the progress that we are making. So this is going to be a 3-foot deep pond. We've got a good amount of space. I imagine the basin area where the fish are going to swim is going to be somewhere around 12 foot wide by maybe 10 foot. And then we're going to have 2 biofalls. We have a small 2500, that's where we originally started. You can kind of see we went a little crazy with the second, and this is a 6000 biofall. So we're going to get a lot of water flow. We've got 2 pumps, a 6 to 9 that's going to operate this, as well as a water feature that we're going to set in. We're going to put like a little, it's an urn, but we're going to kind of play with it a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting in the base of the pond here. So I'll let you guys see that in a moment. But yeah, so we're gonna continue on with the time lapse, and then we'll do a check-in in a moment. See you soon. So this is the current situation for my koi. They're hiding down below there. We've added a water lily that John with Six Flags, him and Panda gave us, and that's where my koi are. So they're just down below there, getting a nice bit of shade from the water lily. And this will be their future home. Well, when there's water in it. These guys are working super hard to make that happen. Right now the concrete cloth is going in. And that concrete cloth is going to help protect our new body of water from all of the roots amongst all of these trees that you see here to the right. Because this is an environment of large palms, and that'll really give our pond a great level of success. After lunch, we just had a nice lunch together, getting ready to get back at it, but I thought I would show you a quick update on the progress. So you can kind of see back there, we have a retaining wall with boulders. Our 6,000 biofalls is right there, and we have a 25 that we're getting ready to put in right over here. We've got some of the walls in place. You can kind of see what a nice tight locking group of boulders we've got here. It's going to be a substantial pond. We're going to use gravel here as our backfill, so everything is nice and tight and solid. This is going to be a nice little stepping stone staircase kind of leading into the pond. And overall, we're going to have about a 4-foot depth here. And you can see the hoses that are inside. Those are going to be our jets that really help keep everything circulated and off the bottom of the pond. So all of the leaves and things that naturally fall into the ponds, it's really going to help keep them circulated at the bottom and pushing them up. And then the skimmers are going to be over here, and then it's going to flow right into the skimmers. What's great is once all of this is rocked in and covered up, you're not going to see any of this plumbing, any of the liner, any of the mechanical things. All of those things are going to be really hidden, so it's going to look like just a real natural pond, which is really what I cannot wait to see. So all the nuts and bolts will be covered. So this is middle of the day on day 2, and just about to get started with the next steps. I will see you for the next update. All right, so here we are. So what are your thoughts, Aaron, on how you think we're gonna have, where you think we're gonna have visible water coming from?
I'll walk over and I'll show you kind of what the plan is. The water level is gonna kind of be around this rock. So we want to finish, my goal is to finish about 3 to 6 inches above water level, so that we can have everything finish off nicely. It looks really clean.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going really steep, really quick. So we're, building really fast. So that's why we have a lot of boulders coming up.
Actually, I'm loving the stair step effect. Look at those, just the way that everything melds together so well.
A nice blend, yeah.
Yes. I mean, as far as having to go up so steep, I know how hard that can be, and still make it look like it's just a natural slope up. And
our challenge is going to be the waterfall here, because we had to come up so fast. Making the framing boulder look really nice is going to be the challenge. So, and then we don't want the water to come straight in. We want it to kind of flow back a little bit before it comes in. So that'll be what we work on tomorrow. It's going to be very challenging.
Exciting. I commonly get this question so often, that how do you get the boulders to really fit the space and really lock in and work for each area? Well, that's how those guys do all of that, just carving into the soil, just making the perfect steps. Just making sure that boulder, if it's got a pointy side on one end, then they're leveling that with soil and rock to make sure that fits that spot perfectly. So it's all about really just creating great shelves and backfilling and measuring, and it truly is amazing when you think about how well those rocks are set into place. And then when they're there, they're locked right in. You can walk on them, they're just sturdy, they're going to be there forever. So I just I just admire that attention to detail. And you guys, it's like 120 degrees. Well, not really, but it's crazy hot today. It's 94 degrees, and you know, picking up a boulder and setting it 5 times, even though that we have this great machine here and a great operator in it, it truly is, it is time consuming. I bet each boulder is 45 minutes to an hour at least for setting, and then you see how many boulders we're working with here. So it's a patience earner for sure. This is like the biggest bed sheet in the world. It's fold it forward, fold it backwards, backfill, put it back into place, and then you're lucky if it goes in right the first time. It's usually 2 or 3 settings. Well, at least with me it is. Aaron seems to do better with that than I do, so. So what you guys were just watching was that setting of the frame rock right there that's going to not only help curve the water going into this direction, but it's also going to kind of help camouflage the biofalls back there. So I'm assuming we're going to probably have a couple more rocks here, and then maybe just bring some soil up around the back of the biofalls, and that should do a nice job of really camouflaging that big piece of hardware that's right there. So I think that frame rock is just perfect. I love how it just sets right there in that groove, so it's going to be quite nice. And then this frame rock here is camouflaging the other spillway, and then obviously we'll have some boulders to the back of that as well. So, but that's what all of the patience is about, setting and resetting and leveling and so on. But it makes all the difference in the world. So it's starting to look more than just a big pile of rocks. I'm gonna start taking shape here soon. So hey you guys, dun, 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 dun. It's a wrap. We are all finished. I cannot wait to show you the end result. I am sorry though, I did miss the last couple of days of filming, so there was the final touch-ups, the things that we were trying to hide in the pond kind of didn't get filmed. So I'm going to quickly go over kind of a recap of the mechanics, kind of where things are, so that way for those of you who are thinking about putting a pond in yourself, you kind of know where everything is, because now it's all kind of tucked away and hard to see. So I want to share that with you guys, so that way you have a quick rundown, and then we'll get to the pretty parts. Been about 2 months since the pond has been put in, so there's been a little bit of a time lapse from our time lapse, and then but I wanted you to be able to see kind of everything put together. I wanted you to be able to see the landscape in place, and we did some wood structures, and we'll go through all that in just a minute. But I kind of wanted it to all be done in one video. I've never been one of those to drag out a project into 7 videos, so I was hoping that you guys would get to see it all put together and let me know what you think. So so I will switch this around, show you kind of where we left off, in the previous time lapse, and then kind of get to the fun stuff. So let me turn you around. So here we are. This is right outside my front door, and this is my front walkway here that leads out to my driveway. You can kind of see my truck over on that side, and the rest of it is pond, as it was intended to be. So this is the finished look. The pond ended up being about 9 to 10 foot wide, with it's approximately 16 foot long. Just depends on where you start the waterfalls. But yeah, it got to be a pretty good sized pond overall. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. My little fish guys are at the feeding rock there. If I come out to this section, I might lose you on the camera though. If I come out to this section, they have a tendency to really come up to the feeding rock because they know it's time for chow. My little fat sausages. Okay, so just to give you a quick recap on the mechanics of it. So in the video where we left off, we were trying to camouflage the biofalls there and the biofalls here, and we have done just that. The boulders are doing a nice stair-step effect, kind of concealing the biofalls, the very best that we can. And then I planted in some impatiens. Those are sun impatiens, and they're planted right into the biofalls themselves. I just took the dirt off of them, rinsed it off really well, and set the roots and the plant itself into the biofalls little shelf area. And then I put some rock media over top just to kind of hold them in place. They were about 4-inch pots at the time, and they have grown so much in this 2-month time period. I mean, they're super, super happy, and they're doing a fantastic job of helping the filtration. I love plants that pay rent, and they are doing just that. Of course, they're getting a nice return in their investment there because they are getting so much fertilizer from the fish waste. So they're doing double time work. Another thing that does dual function are the biofalls. So those biofalls that I just mentioned, on each side, I'll post a picture of it, but it's pretty much like 2 big tubs, and they house bioballs in them. A lot of people used to put rock media in there, and you absolutely can. I use the bioballs because they're about 1 inch big, and they house 19 inches of surface space for good bacteria to grow. So, I mean, that is a lot of good bacteria that is helping the pond. I've got about 200 bioballs in the left bioballs, and 100 in the one on the right. And they're doing a great job. And look how clear that water is. Of course, I'm doing this filming on a cloudy day, unfortunately, but I'm hoping it translates on camera. But I've had no problems with algae. The fish are super, super happy. And just the water clarity, I'm so pleased with. Now, so those biofalls on each side, they're getting water pumped from, obviously, the pond. The pumps are housed right here underneath this piece of flagstone, and I've got one hose that runs under the rock that way, and the same with the opposite side, and they're ran into the back of each of those biofalls. So what happens is the water goes through the bottom of those basins, and then it goes up through a filter pad that's inside the biofalls, and it goes up through all of those bioballs that I just mentioned, and then that filtrated water comes up and evenly comes up above that tank, and then spills over into whatever collection of boulders that you created. So you can kind of see how well they evenly come up and then just filter right straight down. And I've got 2 different types of waterfalls here. I am just so happy. And this was really, Aaron had such a good eye with helping us really pull that together. I love the trio. I love how this comes down and then these collect right here and then really give us a nice dart sound of water as it bounces off that lower boulder right there. And then this one, which is a very smooth transition. I love how this comes straight down, hits that pool of water, curves and goes down. And I have to tell you how many times I see my fish go up into that little pool and then slide back down. I swear, it's like a water park here. I have a hard time getting work done because of these little beauties here. Look at you guys. Everybody's at the feeding rock. They're like, put the camera down. Feed us, Mom. Yeah, so I get a little work done here. And my window, my office window, is right here. So you can see what a challenge some days it can be when this is just lit up with the sun and so gorgeous. So, so that's pretty much the overall mechanics of it. There are a lot of kits online, so if you're looking to do it yourself, I would check out Aquascapes online. If you're, obviously, I'll put all our contact information if you would like to have a pond installed, and if you're on the West Coast, we'll do the same thing for Aaron Blue Lotus. So, if you've seen my previous waterfalls and fountain videos, you know that I have a tendency to incorporate a water feature into a landscape and not the other way around. Well, in this particular case, we ran out of room. And my walkway goes directly to the back side of this feature, so there was no place to put in my layering palms and things I would have normally done to soften the back retaining wall of boulders. So I was really trying to figure out the best way to do that and bring scale to the backyard space without having any room to work with. And then I couldn't do much more to the back side here because this right here is where my drain field is. Hence why I have potted bougainvillea in that particular spot to give me some color, but nothing that's going to really interfere with the drain field as it sits over there. So, so my problem-solving abilities came to my friend who's a carpenter. He pretty much says if I can draw it, he can build it. So he built me a beautiful arbor gate entrance. And the scale of it is just perfect. The way it just really just has a nice overall height, really gives the waterfall balance. It's what I would have chose to put, you know, if I could have put a few trees and palm trees, it's about the size that I would have chose to put that cluster of grouping. So it did a really nice job of not only giving me some additional privacy, but really kind of helping blend in the feature into the front yard. My son calls it my son calls it the dinosaur gates. As you open up, he loves to hum the melody to that. He's like, it's just ginormous, and I love it. You guys have to let me know what you think of in the comments, because I am just so thrilled with how it worked out. I've always loved the idea of a garden arbor coming up to a front yard, and now I have one. And it's just like me to think that everybody should have one, but I am in love with it. So we have a small gate over here because this is the access that we use commonly. Amazon uses commonly because there's just a little narrow walkway leading to my front door, and you know, we take the short route every single time. I didn't want a gate all the way up alongside my driveway, so what I chose to do was bring a podocarpus hedge in. So that podocarpus hedge is a 15-gallon podocarpus. It is probably about 4.5, 5 foot tall right now. Still very, very thin, barely holding itself up. You can see that we've got some ties on it trying to get it to do its thing, but I'm hoping to allow it to do what the Lucie does over here for us. So I'm in love with Lucie, but they just, in order for them to be nice and thick and dense and you can't see through them, they need to be about 2.5 to 3 foot wide. I don't have that kind of space over here. So what I chose to do was podocarpus instead, and I can keep that at a max of a foot wide, and it could be 8, 10, 12 foot tall and really have no trouble standing straight up. So it takes a little while for these guys to get going. They're not showstoppers right now, but once they do grow in, they will be solid, they will be green, and I'm probably gonna keep them just to the top of those column caps there. So that would be my green wall fence. That kind of gives me a little bit of a break from the wood structures themselves. So I'm in love with it. What I didn't expect, which is a nice happy accident, was what the acoustics would do once those all went up. Is now, as soon as I walk out my front door, it's like Niagara Falls. The impact of the sound is so fantastic that I didn't anticipate that. I feel like it's become a courtyard in here. I'm literally, so this may be too much information, but I'm literally in my pajamas filming this right now because this is what you can do in your own private space. I just finished drinking my cup of coffee and pulled out the camera and started filming, and I feel like I am nice and tucked away. And as much as I like my neighbors, I like having my own space. I like being able to recoup on the weekends and have my own space to enjoy. That being said, I've invited so many of my clients, actually I've invited almost all of my clients to my house, just so they can kind of see what it looks like living with this type of landscaping. You know, do my own plants in general need a haircut from time to time? Absolutely, but I still invite them over because I want them to see what this looks like, what, you know, what to expect when you're putting these groups of plants together, because I commonly use a mixture of the same material, because when you've got something that works, why change it? I'll incorporate a hybrid every so often as I've tested it in my yard, but in general, I use the same probably 200 species of plants. It's sad to say that I probably have all 200 in my yard, but that way everybody can really get a good visual of what that's going to look like in their space. Is it too much? Is it not enough? Is it, you know, is it hard to see the layers? You know, whatever that might be, this really kind of helps put all of that into perspective. So you really do get a good visual of what it looks like in reality. You know, what that kind of unfolds and turns into in someone's home space. And I think that that's what's fantastic about being able to walk through an actual yard when you're trying to decide on your landscaper. Find someone who really lives with that environment, who has expertise in it, and who actually can really give you some real life skills on what works and what doesn't work. So that's pretty much a wrap, you guys. I hope you liked the video. I hope that it gave you some inspiration if you're thinking about incorporating a pond into your own space. I'm telling you, I spend most evenings out here hand feeding my fish. Yes, I did not know that was a thing up until recently, but you can absolutely hand feed your fish. And I'm so glad I got a bigger pond, because I'm so going to get more fish. But it's been my spot. It's my morning spot to have my coffee here, and my evening spot to have my glass of wine here. So between the front and the back, I enjoy the pondless waterfall. I would say almost as much, but I've really gotten to appreciate what a pond with fish offers. So again, this has been a new project for us, and I'm so appreciative of Aaron Chico over at Blue Lotus for kind of really assisting us kind of understand the whole process and how the pond filtration and how all of that works, because that was a big part of making sure that I could handle working with a larger pond, and making sure that us as a company can handle the installation and make sure that we can stand behind it. So pondless waterfalls and fountain features are something that I really enjoy putting into a landscape. I've done that for years, and being an aquascapes contractor has been such a pleasure, because I think adding water to just about any tropical landscape, you know, nestling it in within, you know, buffers and islands and plantings, I think that it just really sets off an area, and I love leaving that space that way. I love bringing that to somebody's home. So ponds were a little bit more of a daunting project for me. So I was concerned about it. So I definitely wanted to live that lifestyle before I started really installing it for clients. So we've had the pondless waterfall for years, but now I can say that I've really enjoyed working with the ponds as well. So as we develop and incorporate more of these over time, I'm excited to see where that goes. So if you guys are looking to install your own pond and you have questions, again, with ponds, I'm still a newbie, but I'd be happy to help and answer as many questions as I can. If you guys or have questions about pondless as well, I can flat help you with that. And if you're looking to have it installed, then please let us know. We'd be happy to meet with you and see if we can install this for your space. If you're over in the Sarasota or the West Coast area and you're looking to have a pond or a waterfall installed, then check out Blue Lotus, because Aaron has been fabulous to work with. He's got a fantastic eye, and it's just, I think you would really enjoy working with him. So I'll make sure to post or to leave all of his information down below too. And as always, if you're looking to have some landscape work done, we do design and installation over along the Treasure and Space Coast, from Stuart, Florida, all the way up to Brevard, Cocoa Beach area. So I'll make sure to put that in the description down below as well too. So, all right, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to do kind of a quick walk around and just kind of set it to music and just kind of let you see the space. And you guys will have to let me know what you think. I hope you liked it. All right, take care. I'll see you in the next video.